The conclusion of a long legal battle for Kelly dating back more than a decade.
Joe Roddy served in the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. He's joining us now live to explain a little bit more about what we saw today. Hello to you.
Good evening, Lourdes. Good evening, Ray.
Okay, so R. Kelly's attorneys left the courtroom today saying, look, this trial, this case was full of inconsistencies. There's issues with this racketeering charge, and that they are planning to file an appeal. Do they have grounds for an appeal? Explain where they can go from here.
Well, I certainly think their number one ground for appeal will likely be that the RICO statute does not apply to an individual such as R. Kelly. The government's response might likely be that we didn't charge the corrupt organization as R. Kelly the person, but R. Kelly the brand or the enterprise who was in the business of promoting music, making music, but also in the criminal business of luring young girls across state lines for sexual purposes. I think that will be probably first and foremost one of the issues on appeal. Also, I would think that there will be continuing questions whether or not credibility was appropriate and judged accordingly by the jury itself. You saw 5 weeks of testimony, I think over 50 witnesses, and this jury came back in under 10 hours, 4 hours on Friday and about 5 hours today. So I think they'll make an argument that the jury probably didn't give due deference to all the evidence and just listened to the rhetoric of the government and found him guilty of everything.
Was it surprising for you that they came back with a verdict so quickly?
It wasn't surprising. I mean, listening to the evidence and seeing the compelling testimony of the witnesses and hearing the government's argument was very succinct and to the point that this was Mr. Kelly, along with his enablers, his handlers, his people, his entourage. They were in the business of luring young women for his own sexual gratification in violation of numerous state laws and now in violation of the federal law.
Well, Joe, the defense attorneys argued that prosecutors had cherry-picked the evidence and used what they could that was the most damaging to Kelly's case here. How do you react to that charge as they work on their appeal?
Well, there was a lot of ammunition for the government and the prosecutors to use here against Mr. Kelly. They went back upwards of 25 years for instances of criminal activity that were used in furtherance of the conspiracy. There were at least 6 women victims. There were numerous witnesses. All the government had to do was prove that there were 2 of these acts done in the furtherance of the conspiracy in the organization. They chose 14 of them to lay out to the jury. They proved 12 of them. The jury sided with them. They didn't need to cherry pick. There was a ton of evidence over the years that went towards their theory that women were being used and abused by Mr. Kelly and his entourage for his own gain and his own sexual gratification.
And talk about also what all of this could mean for his entourage, the people that worked with him, worked under him, and you know they are implicated in some of these other cases that we may see in the future.
Some of them, I'm sure, are testified under some types of an agreement that they won't be charged or that the charges will be less than certain levels that Mr. Kelly faced. There are instances, there's a pending case here in Chicago in the federal district court in which he is charged along with a co-defendant, which they were alleged to have tried to fix or obstruct justice in the 2009 acquittal when he was charged with child pornography.
Finally, the government really praised the victims in this case who showed so much bravery and resiliency. How difficult would it have been if they hadn't have been able to stand strong in the face of such, scrutiny?
These cases are always difficult when you're dealing with victims of sex crimes, specifically young women of a young age. They went through a rigorous cross-examination in which it seemed to me that the theory of the defense was basically to blame them, that they wanted to be a part of Mr. Kelly's world, that they consented to this, and that they basically, they knew what was going to happen to them and they need to face the consequences for it. That was not well received by the jury. The government in the rebuttal argument pointed out I think very effectively that is not a strong defense argument. And after less than 10 hours of deliberation on a 5-week jury trial, I think the government created a very persuasive argument in front of this jury.
Joe Roddy, thanks so much for joining us this evening. We appreciate it very much.
You're most welcome.
All right, take care.